afternoon, Prashant. Can you unmute yourself?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Prashant.
Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
So, how are you feeling now?
Yes, I'm feeling good. Hope your day was good
Medically
as well.
fit?
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. Now I can see that you have got so many medals and you have presided over many things. In medical field, you are an expert. So why do you want to lose that glory and go to the civil service where you will be nobody?
So, when it comes to the civil services, especially like considering that my pursuit to MBBS has been more because my family and my parents, especially both my mom and dad, were affected with cancer, and I lost my dad to cancer. So that was my impetus to enter the MBBS. But then, sir, in our final year and internship, especially, we see a multitude of cases where even liver transplants or renal transplants are done free of cost at the GH. And that I believe is the success of schemes such as the PMJAY CMCHIS scheme. So when such a procedure or any such scheme is able to improve the public health delivery system, I believe I will be able to make a difference through my medical education knowledge on the same, sir. And the HOTA committee also has observed that we need more specialists or technocrats into the civil services. So I feel that probably I will be able to make my mark in the civil services as well, sir.
Okay, very good. Now you have written 40 gold medals you won somewhere.
Oh my
40.
God.
What are those gold medals for?
Sir, in our MBBS curriculum, there are gold medals which are awarded for the university marks based on the examinations that are conducted at the end of the professional year. And that is awarded both by the college and the university. So this accounts for a few of the medals amongst those 40. And apart from that, there are proficiency exams conducted in subjects even apart from MBBS, say like rheumatology, nephrology, which all happen to be super specialty subjects. So the proficiency medals, apart from the university medals, account for the 40.
So the country should not lose such a, professional who has excelled in every field to bureaucracy where you will be subjected to all kinds of harassment by politicians. So why do you want to do that?
So I feel that in whatever pursuit I've taken, see, be it the academic front or the leadership front, where I believe that development needs to be holistic. And that is probably the reason why I chose not to just focus myself on academics, but also take up and pursue the leadership pursuits in the Indian Medical Association or the Students Network Organization India and so on. So, sir, I believe that with the academic knowledge and the leadership qualities that I've always been like that I've always been thoughtful about, I believe I will be able to make a change in the society with respect to the public health delivery system, if given in particular. And this is something that I really wanted to do, sir.
Okay, very good. Very good. Now, changing the subject, can you tell me how a bill is presented in the parliament and how it is processed? And what are the principal varieties of bills which are presented in the parliament?
Sir, bills could be ordinary bills or the money bills or the financial bills of which could be of type 1 or type 2 and or the constitutional amendment bills per se. So these would be the types of bills. And once the government introduces a particular bill in the parliament, say the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha for that concern, except in the case of money bills where the explicit permission of the Honorable President of India is taken prior to the introduction of the bill. So in the other bills, the government introduces the bill first, and there are debates which happen both from the government side and from the and from the opposition benches as well. And once the discussion is concluded and the debates are done,
Okay,
uh,
before the bill is presented in the parliament, what is the procedure which is normally followed?
sir, I'm not exactly aware of the procedure which is followed before it is introduced in the parliament. But
You see, there are two varieties of bills. One is presented by private members, that is private members bill, and
yes, sir.
another is by the government.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
the government bill has a procedure.
Sir, I guess the executive makes the bill ready and they present it before the cabinet per se for
Okay.
their approval before they.
No problem, no problem. Now, there has been a big debate on appointment of judges. Uh, there was a particular law which was adopted by the parliament unanimously. It was struck down by the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court says that we will continue to do the appointments through what they call, a committee of judges. On the other hand, there's a view that the judges should not appoint themselves. It is not done anywhere in the world. So what is your view on this issue?
Sir, the issue arises from the National Judicial Appointments Commission bill, which was introduced by the government in order to regulate the appointments of the judiciary at the level of the High Courts and the Honorable Supreme Court of India. And as far as the debate is concerned, it has been settled partly by the topmost court of the country, and the law set by the Honorable Constitutional Court, which is the Supreme Court of India, is the law of the land. And that being the case, it has been rendered unconstitutional by the judiciary with respect to the NJSC bill. And the reasons which have been stipulated in this regard have been on the independence of the judiciary in order to maintain their independence free from the executive. And that is a reasonable reason to believe that we need independence of the judiciary. So, sir, I believe that it is important that the executive and the judiciary sit together on the negotiating side of the table and come to a consensus on the appointment of judges.
Do you know any country in the world where judges appointing new judges?
Sir, I'm not aware if there's any other country.
Okay. Now, coming to another subject, what is Quad and why it was set up?
So the Quad is a geopolitical international organization comprising the countries of India, USA, Japan, and Australia. So these are the countries that comprise, and Quad was set up more as a defense security organization. And they've also expanded their horizons, not just to involve the geopolitical defense, but also to involve horizons such as cybersecurity, maritime affairs, trade, and the semiconductor industry as well. So they've also delved into different other parameters. And there are new terminologies such as the West Asian Quad, which is coming up to denote the I2U2 as well. So this would be about the Quad, sir.
What was the principal motive behind this action?
Sir, rising China has been one specific factor in the formation of the Quad per se, especially in the early 2000s, around 2005, when the first Quad was formed, and the revival of the Quad, especially in the late 2010s to 15. And the second reason would be to expand the horizons on defense, military affairs, and maritime trade as well. So these two are the reasons that I can think of, sir.
Okay. Now, recently the elections were held in Pakistan, and there continues to be some sort of logjam. What do you think about it as repercussions for India?
So the first dilemma that evolves over here would be the fact as to whom we'll have to coordinate with respect to talks, just in case we sit down for negotiations, whether it would be the elected government, if at all there is a stable government that is to be formed, or the army by itself. And with respect to the economy as well, Pakistan is already in troubles with respect to the economy, and an unstable government will only cause even further worry for the economy of Pakistan. And that being the case, countries such as China could probably take stock of the situation and probably usher in certain funds. And that could probably lead Pakistan to move even more closer towards China. And China could play the role of a global power. So these are two specific threats. And the third one would be the non-state actors, such as say, the Hizbul Mujahideen or the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Lakshari Taiba, and so on and so forth, which have a base in Pakistan. And the absence of a stable government, again, will only help in mushrooming their non-state actor status. So these are the three things that I can think of, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prashant. Over
Thank you
to
so
you, Neelamji.
Okay. So, good evening, Prashant.
Good evening, ma'am.
It's nice to interact with the doctor. Good. So, you're from Chennai or Madras?
Formerly known as Madras, though right now it's Chennai, ma'am.
Okay. So, why was the name changed to Chennai? Madras is a good name.
Ma'am, Madras per se stems from the Madras presidency, which existed during the British era, and even post-independence, it was termed the Madras state or the Madras presidency until the year of 1967, when the then Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. Annadurai, he changed the name of the Madras state to Tamil Nadu. So that stems from the reason that Madras does not have the connotation of Tamil, the language of Tamil, which has been attached to the state of Tamil Nadu per se. So the name change was evident at that particular point, and that's probably the reason why it was changed. And
The
then
name change was from Madras to Chennai. So, when was the name changed from Madras to Chennai?
Ma'am, I don't specifically remember the year or the date when it was changed. For the city, ma'am. For the state, it was changed.
For the state. Okay. Okay, but you should read about it, why and when it was changed. So,
Yes,
you're a doctor. Tell me about the stem cells. Where do we have the stem cells in the body?
Ma'am, stem cells can be induced or pluripotent, and that can be retrieved from the umbilical cord of the infant.
वो तो कट जाती है. Once the baby is born, umbilical cord is gone. In India, we don't have practice of preserving the stem cells. So where else is this found?
Ma'am, we could probably retrieve it from the bone marrow. That could be one. And two could be the peripheral blood as well. The peripheral blood can be used for culturing stem cells and retrieval. So these are two areas where we can retrieve, ma'am. And the third could also be the liver, because even that has stem cells which can regenerate. So even the liver is a potential organ.
Okay, your answer is correct. So, but it's bad to ask all medical questions to a doctor. But believe me, we asked the same question to another doctor. The bone marrow vanished in the answer. So that's why I asked you this particular question. So recently, Mr. Elon Musk has been very much in the news. Today also, he is in the news. Why?
Ma'am, Elon Musk has been in the news for 2 to 3 reasons, which I can recollect.
One I don't want to know about Tesla.
Not Tesla per se, ma'am. One would be the Neuralink, which is the brain-human interface, which he has developed. So that would be one. And two would be the reason that he stipulated that there is an Earth-like planet which is habitable.
No, we move back to the Neuralink. Why was it in the news today? Did you read the paper today?
Ma'am, I skimmed through it, but I don't remember why it was in the news specifically today, ma'am.
Okay. With the help of that chip which is implanted, something happened. So that is why it was in the news. So do read about it, because you're a doctor, they can ask you.
Yes, ma'am. The debilitated patients are able to mobilize themselves and react and respond through the Neuralink chip.
No. Come again. They can react or they can make something else. What did you say? What is the chip going to do?
Ma'am, once the commands in the chip are given, they will be able to execute those and respond and react to the same through whatever is being mediated.
No, they can react or they can make other things react.
It's an indirect mode of making them react, ma'am. Not directly, but indirectly.
Prashant, you have to read about Neuralink.
Yes, ma'am. I'll look it up.
Okay?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
you're a doctor, this is a very probable question for you. Exactly
ma'am.
what Neuralink is going to do. How many electrodes does it have, which is going to be implanted in your brain?
I'm not aware of the exact number, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to leave this question with the comments to you. You have to read about this. Okay?
I'll look it up,
It's
ma'am.
coming
Sure.
nearly every day in the news. So it is a probable question. I think we will jump now to budget deficit. Can you answer any questions on budget?
Yes, ma'am. I'll definitely give it a
We
try.
will definitely try. So when we talk about Government of India, we have receipts as well as expenditure. What do you mean by budget deficit?
Ma'am, the budget deficit or the fiscal deficit is the difference between the receipts and the expenditure that is done. And what we have in India is a deficit budget, which means that we spend more than what we receive in the form of
Okay,
receipt.
now you stop there. If we have receipts which are less than the expenditure, how do we spend? If you have 5 rupees, you have 5 rupees your father is giving to you, but you have bills of 10 rupees. How are you going to balance it?
Ma'am, one way to balance it would probably be to ask the Reserve Bank of India to issue fresh currency, like increase the monetary supply of the currency by printing fresh notes. Though this was considered to be an act which was not supposed to be done through the FRBM Act. It had put a cap on the RBI not to do this.
That's what USA is doing. And they have landed themselves into a big soup. So when we talk about government receipts, tell me the items under which the receipts come.
Ma'am, the first one would be the direct and the indirect taxes.
Yes, very good. What is a direct tax and what is a indirect tax?
Ma'am, direct tax is paid by the person who is...
No. Which taxes come under the direct or the indirect taxes? I know what is a direct tax and indirect tax.
Direct taxes would include the personal income tax.
And? Okay, leave it. Indirect tax?
Ma'am, indirect taxes include the goods and services tax, the corporate taxes, dividend and distribution tax, the stamp duties, the other levies and cess and surcharge which is being levied by the government.
Prashant, this answer is totally muddled up. You have mixed up all the receipts. Direct taxes are only 2, which is income tax and corporation tax. When we talk about indirect taxes, it is already specified. Second question on budget. Do we have any receipts for Government of India which is not a tax?
Ma'am, pardon, ma'am, which is not?
Which is not a tax.
Not a tax. Ma'am, borrowings from the IMF or the interest that we receive.
Interest we receive or we pay?
We pay it, ma'am.
So, see, I know.
The borrowings. The borrowings could account, ma'am.
What regarding this question, because it is all muddled up, you Google it and find out.
Yes, ma'am.
Where does the rupee come from? Where does it go? I'm not going to go into the go bit because when in is not clear, even the out is not going to be clear. So yes, you should, there are not more than 7 or 8 items which come under the government receipts. Even for the outgoings, there are only 7 or 8 items. So you should at least know those items, if not the percentages. If you know the percentages, it will be very good.
Sure, ma'am. I'll read it up.
You have to read. When is your interview, did you say?
Ma'am, April 1.
April 1. So you have got a whole month. So
Yes,
at
ma'am.
least 2 or 3 days you have to devote only to the budget.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
then I'll move on to another question. Recently, again, FMR was in news. What is FMR?
Ma'am, FMR refers to the free movement regime that exists between the countries of India and Myanmar with a border range of 16 kilometers, where people
16 kilometers? Okay,
on
good.
either side of the border, ma'am. So 16 kilometers where people will be able to move freely without the expectation of a visa or a pass. So the recently the government of India has put up an order wherein they've notified that the free movement regime will be scrapped and the borders will be fenced rather with smart fencing. So this is the current news, ma'am.
So, what is the length of the border which is proposed to be fenced?
Ma'am, 163 kilometers.
16?
43.
48 kilometers.
Okay.
But again, it came in the news last week. If you had read, Mizoram refused. He says, we
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
want fencing.
The states of Mizoram and Nagaland have refused while Manipur wants the border to be fenced.
So, what will Government of India do now?
Ma'am, despite the request by the states, the government of India has categorically stated that they will that they will go on with fencing the borders, and already they have fenced the border of 10 kilometers of Moreh district. So they will be on the pursuit of fencing it, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So, we have seen in India large number of revolutions. You've heard about white revolution?
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding
Milk and dairy products.
Green revolution is for
the crops, especially rice and wheat crops.
Agriculture. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then recently, purple revolution was in the news. What is this purple revolution?
Ma'am, is it something related to the differently abled or the disabled?
No. It was, did you see the Republic Day parade? No.
A few of the parades, yes, ma'am. It was on the
tableaus. There was a whole tableau by CSIR on.
Ma'am, it was on the cultivation of aromatic.
Yes, you're right. It was on the cultivation of aromatic plants like lavender in the state of. Which state? Gujarat? Maharashtra?
Jammu and Kashmir or Himachal.
Jammu and Kashmir. Yes. You're very right. To make you comfortable, my last question is going to be on a medical subject. We have both good and bad cholesterol in the body.
Ma'am, pardon, ma'am, good and bad?
We have good as well as bad cholesterol in the body.
Yes, ma'am.
What is good cholesterol? What is bad cholesterol? And what exactly do they do?
Ma'am, good cholesterol refers to the high density lipoproteins or the HDL as it's called. And the bad cholesterol refers to the LDL, VLDL, and the triglycerides. So this would be the low density lipoproteins, the very low density lipoproteins, and the triglycerides.
Okay, don't go too much in detail. What do they do? Okay, they are called good and bad. Do you tell me only in easy terms? I'm not a doctor.
Yes, ma'am. As far as the good cholesterol is concerned, it removes the deposition of the bad cholesterols on the vessel streams and moves it towards the peripheral blood, while the bad cholesterol is more of a deposition in the small arteries, the vessels, and the veins. It moves towards the...
It depositions in the veins or arteries?
Ma'am, specifically the arteries. The vessels per se, but the arteries in particular.
Now, what happens with the bad cholesterol? If it is not checked, what exactly it is doing and what exactly it can cause?
Ma'am, it can lead to platelet aggregation, and because of that, a thrombus or an embolus or a blood clot can be formed. And that deposition of a blood clot in the blood vessels, especially the coronary vessels, lead to one, it could be hypertension, and two, it could lead to ischemic heart disease, or a myocardial infarction, which in layman terms is the heart attack. So that
Can
can
lead to, in layman's term, to heart attack or a brain stroke.
stroke. Yes, ma'am.
Because it is narrowing down the arteries.
Yes, ma'am. Basically ischemia. So on a coronary vessel, it causes myocardial infarction or a heart attack. The brain vessels, it leads to stroke. In the lower limb or in one of the limbs, it can lead.
Bus. I know that you can answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, Janvi, you take Prashanth to waiting room and we call him back in 2 minutes.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It was my pleasure.
You are there, Prashanth. Welcome back.
Good evening, sir.
So, first of all, let us know, how did you feel about your interview?
Sir, it was a great experience, and I definitely got a lot of learning points, especially on questions related to economics and the parliamentary affairs, where I needed to go a little on in depth and and kind of remember the facts as well, because more of this was on prelims mains content. I seem to have lost memory of it, but I'll definitely look that up and learn upon it, sir.
Okay, you have analyzed yourself very well. Now we would like to give you a few suggestions. The first is that your answers are too long. The interview lasts only for about 25 minutes in UPSC. And if you take 2-3 minutes to answer one question or 5 minutes, then it's over. That's not the way it should be done.
Yes, sir.
None of the answers, I'm repeating, none of the answers should be more than 1 minute. Maximum 1 minute, it could be even less. Remember this. You should give chance to the board to pose you more questions. If they want to know more about the subject, they can ask you supplementary questions. You leave it to them. But your answers are very long. This is one thing which you have to control yourself. And particularly when you know the subject, you keep telling, which is not. You should be able to synthesize it and put in a power sentences of 2-3 sentences your answer. I think that will make an impact, and long answers will not do very well. Okay, so that is one thing you have to do. Secondly, you are good, of course, in your profession. There is no problem. You have to enhance your general knowledge. Now, general knowledge, to begin with, you start with the Constitution of India. You should have reasonably good knowledge of the Constitution, because that is the fundamental law of the country. Then you should read the budget document and the Economic Survey of India. So it gives you an overview of the economic situation in the country. And then you should monitor the current events. You should know read at least 2 newspapers, one general and one economic, and read them properly every day so that you do not miss out on important current events. Now, concerning Tamil Nadu, there could be specific events, and there could be one controversial event because one of your ministers said that Sanatan Dharma should be eradicated. Those kind of questions can also be asked. So you should be ready to respond to controversial questions as well. Okay. You should also know a little bit about foreign relations. Your answers on foreign affairs issues, but you need to sharpen them a little bit more and shorten them as well. Sharpen and shorten. These are the 2 words you have to use. Okay. Now, you need not debate on any issue. There's no issue of debating. We are not scoring any point in interview. Interview is basically a conversation. So sometimes you might find that the board member is insisting on something. You don't have to carry on that argument. You accept and move forward.
Yes, sir.
That is, and if you don't know something, just regret, sorry, I don't know about this, and move forward. Don't have to guess on any issue.
Sure, sir.
Because you are not expected to know everything in the world, which is neither possible nor they expect from you. Okay, but otherwise you are excellent candidate. You will do very well. Of course, you should prepare a proper answer, which you did partially, that why you should join the foreign service, the civil service, because you are an excellent doctor. You have done, excellent work in medical field. Why are you changing your field? So that question, I'm sure, will be asked, and you should be able to give a good answer to that. Apart from that, you are good. I think if you have any question to ask, let me know or let us know.
Sir, was the answer for the question on why the civil service is convincing?
It was okay. It was okay, but you should say that, you see, listen, I'm a medical professional. That skill can also be used in civil service, and it can be particularly useful in the health department, but even otherwise in general. So you can put that way. But in general, you should emphasize, of course, it will depend on your personal passion, why you want to join, but you should emphasize that, I want to make some improvements on the ground level in our society, whether they are related to health or whether they are cleanliness or whether they are related to education or, agriculture, whatever improvements are possible on the ground level, I want to make those changes. And this is the reason I want to join the civil services. And also, it also offers a good career option with variety of jobs. So that could be your answer, but depends on your own personal approach, why you want to join. And you can,
Sure, sir.
mix with your personal approach. So anything else?
So only that, nothing else, sir.
Okay. So you must shorten your answer. This is a thing which I would like to re-emphasize.
Definitely, sir.
Your answers are very long, and that is not desirable. Our interview is already 45 minutes. There you will get only 25 minutes. So you should, reduce your
Definitely, sir.
answers.
I'll
Okay?
do that.
Yeah.
I'll work on it, sir.
So you will do very well. Prashant, you have very, good fundamentals. You are brilliant, and you will be selected. So we wish you good luck.
Thank you so
All
much,
the
sir.
best. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am.